So my kids and I have this thing that we like to do where we go on Disney Plus, like if we're trying to find something to watch, and instead of finding something to watch, we just watch trailers forever. It doesn't matter if they're trailers for shows and movies that we've already seen or ones that are upcoming. Our favorites are the ones that like really pique our interest, and we will legitimately watch them over and over and over again. And it got me thinking, students look at the way we open lessons and units the same way that my kids and I look at trailers. The gateway activity is basically the trailer for what's to come in the classroom. And if it falls flat, that's the one that we're not going to finish, right? Like we're not going to finish watching that trailer. I have already lost most of our students before we even start.
Which is why we care so much about it. And so one of our very favorite strategies that we want to share with you right now is a gateway activity using picture books. Picture books are the perfect little intro to big concepts and themes. They're engaging in a way that's unexpected. Here's a fun fact. We have a whole lesson ready made for you and absolutely free to download that uses the book Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And we use it to introduce the genre of dystopia and all of the big ideas within it. So if you've ever been in the market for tricking and deceiving your students with something that's really engaging and fun, this is the lesson for you. Every single time we use Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs in the classroom, students are walking away intrigued. They're talking to each other. They're talking out the door about what happened in class. I mean, dreams really do come true. And they're thinking about what's coming the next day. All of these signs of a very successful gateway lesson.
And did we mention that the whole lesson is free? You can go and download it right now and come back to it whenever you are ready. Head to the show notes for this episode or go to shop.bravenewteaching.com/cloudy to download this lesson today. We can't wait to see how it works in your classroom. This episode is brought to you by Curriculum Rehab by us, the team here at Brave New Teaching. It is the first and only teacher PD of its kind, a course to help teachers like you by guiding you through creating your own personal framework for curriculum. You make it work for you, your students, and your unique situation because nobody else knows what the kiddos in your classroom need the way that you do. Curriculum Rehab takes all of the resources available to you, all of the lessons, the assessments, the activities, all of the texts, everything that could possibly be there for you, and it helps you organize what you actually need in order to attain your teaching objectives. These are the strategies that Amanda and myself have used in our own classrooms, have developed over very long years of teaching and figuring things out, combined together to create this framework and these strategies that we can guide you through. This course will give you the tools you need for a complete curriculum overhaul or to start from scratch. Wherever you are on that continuum, it does it all for you and with you on your timeline. So start today, do a little bit more in a couple of months, and then pick it up next summer. It's Teacher PD the way it should be on your own time. Head to curriculumrehab.com/course for more information, or just head to the show notes for this episode. We cannot wait to see you there. It's finally time to take control of what goes on in your own classroom and create the curriculum of your dreams. All right, let's get back into the show. Well, hello and welcome back to Brave New Teaching, and welcome to this week's team meeting. Friends, I don't know about you, but the only thing that is flooding, not the only thing, but like one of the only things, and it's probably because I've been reading the articles and watching the videos, but my algorithm, my feed on Instagram especially, but like all sorts of like YouTube also, where I am getting content and information, is flooded with articles and different pieces of content about students and screens and AI and how humanity's getting dumber and literacy is such an issue. And not only do I agree with all of them, but it's giving me quite a doomsday feeling. So if this is also something that you're experiencing, then this podcast episode is going to be just for you. And if this is something that you're not experiencing, I want to get on your algorithm because I am overloaded. But today, I actually want to talk a little bit about reframing the idea of screens. And okay, don't get me wrong. I'm going to talk a little bit about like what I'm going to be doing in my own classroom and in my own home to reframe how we are using screens, especially in 2026, because I mean, it's December 2025. So like, I got a week and a half left of school. Like this train is out of the station. However, I will have 2 weeks off. And then I will be coming back fresh into a new year. Shortly after that, for my school, we will be getting into a brand new term. Like I'll have all new students. So it's like the perfect time to really start reframing ideas around technology in my classroom. I mean, I'll focus on the classroom. Yes, we'll talk about a little bit at home, but mostly in the classroom. And how I plan to use it, how I plan to not use it, how just all of the things. Well, not all the things. Listen, let's just get into the episode. It's another solo with Marie today. Next week, you'll have Amanda. It's going to be a great time. And it's time to like sign in, grab your coffee because it is a Brave New Teaching team meeting and nobody's got time to listen to me ramble. So let's just cut to it and cue the music.
You're listening to Brave New Teaching, and we are so much more than a podcast.
We give teachers the inspiration, support, and tools to challenge the status quo.
I'm Amanda, and I'm a former English teacher from Illinois.
And I'm Marie, and I'm a high school teacher from Southern California.
Join us after the show and happy hour to extend your BNT experience with instant access to our resources, workshops, and courses.
Visit shop.bravenewteaching.com/happy hour to join us today. We're so glad you're here. Enjoy the show. So like I said in my little intro, friends, I have been bombarded with especially articles, but a lot of them like basically teachers like me or like professional educators or psychologists or other people that work with kids talking through these articles and kind of giving their hot takes on them. And I'm not going to give you too much of my hot take. I'm going to give them more like my application and reframing around these ideas. The latest that I am talking about right now is from Education Week. It was published on December 5th, 2025, written by writer Jennifer Vicarino, and it's entitled, "We Asked Executives What Skills Young Workers Are Missing. Here's What They Said." Without belaboring more, because it is a very quick read and I will link it in the show notes for this episode. I highly suggest you go and take a look because then it has a ton of like suggested things to look at next. And the thing I love about Education Week as a publication is that they're pretty bite-sized pieces of content and news. And so then, and then it gives you like more perspectives to look at with any given topic. They had quotes, and like little blurbs from all these different like high level executives at like, Citi and like different like big companies. The trend was decision making, the ability to make decisions. Really, there were two big trends. One was that they're seeing young people are like tech comfortable, but not yet tech fluent. And this, I would say this is from a woman who works at IBM in a very like high level. Tech comfortable, but not yet tech fluent. So all of these things we've been doing in our classrooms for how many years since ed tech became such the, the big, huge thing. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I'm a proponent of using technology in the classroom in a way that is actually productive. But come to find out, it's not doing a whole lot for our kids when they actually enter the workforce if they don't have the soft skills to take that comfort with tech and become actually fluent. Human skills, critical thinking, problem solving, being able to listen and synthesize, sift through information and actually solve problems, no matter if you're doing it in a face-to-face situation with technology, with like no amount of coding is actually any good if you can't solve problems that develop within that code, right? So it all boils down to humanity and being a human being and being able to use skills that only human beings can develop. Let's pause for a second and have a quick note on educational technology and just that ebb and flow of, quite frankly, trends, because I
personally was quite the proponent in like the late 2010s of educational technology because I saw it as a great equalizer. I saw it as a way that students from all different backgrounds could get on more even footing. But I think that I was misleading myself quite a bit, actually. And I see where like this difference, right, between like tech comfort and tech fluency, it endures and it's pervasive no matter how early we give students or, what socioeconomic background they're from or like whatever kids are introduced to technology. It all boils down to their human skills again, no matter what. So I don't see a world where screens and ed tech are completely out of our classrooms because quite frankly, a lot of our districts have paid too much money to make to make classrooms one-to-one with devices. So like once we made that financial investment, I don't see it going away. I think it, again, like I was saying earlier, has to be a reframing of how we are going to use these things and when we are going to use these things. I know last week or the week before I was talking about, I just want to get off of screens as much as possible and just use pen to paper. Yeah, well, then I tried it like yesterday and my students looked like they were going to flip their tables at me. And it's not that I'm afraid of their, rage and their all out just like teenagerness, but it's not realistic. Like just taking everything away and there being this big void of technology is not realistic. Also, the way I teach is like, okay, now let's watch a video and then let's talk about it. Okay, well, let me show you what we're doing today on this screen because that's where I've typed out all of my agendas because my handwriting is not going to endure the way it used to up on the board. So like, again, reframing, let's come back to like the real world and see what sorts of ideas we have. This leads me to right in the same vein as like, technology is killing our intelligence and we're all becoming, blobs of goo that just drool poor vocabulary. We also know that like Finland is amazing at at education and everything is play-based. And play-based education is really the way to help students and children develop their resilience and emotional intelligence, blah, blah, blah. Kids know how to play. Like kids inherently are curious and they know how to play from a very early age. And I'm going to speak from the perspective as a high school educator, but also as the mom of a middle schooler. My middle schooler and his friends still know how to play. My 9th and 10th and 11th and 12th graders still know how to play, but it is buried under layers of socialization, right? And hormones and technology. So figuring out how to peel those layers back is the reframing that I'm talking about. I want to teach my students and I want to help remind them how to just try things. That's what playing is. It's just trying things. Playing pretend is just trying stuff out and seeing what works. And then when it doesn't work, changing gears. And that is very much at the crux of, I think, going to be what helps us teach our students how to think critically. Like if students can learn how to play games, play pretend, put on a play, right? Like do these things that help them be creative and get outside of themselves in ways that are both high and low stakes. Then they're going to be able to have the Socratic seminar that really asks them to challenge each other and listen without breaking down. And all of these things can be achieved with screens, but I think they first have to be achieved without technology and without screens. Okay, Marie, what are you actually getting at here? I'm getting at in 2026, I think that it's imperative that we all, as a big Brave New Teaching team, come together and create like our best practices for helping our kids learn how to play. Obviously, for me, I will be able to bring it's almost like a favorite things. Oh my gosh, that's exactly it. Let's have a New Year's favorite things party where we bring our favorite things. And those favorite things are activities and lessons. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is it. I'm going to end the episode early because I've just figured out what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you a couple of my favorite things and how I use them in my classroom. And then we're all going to have a favorite things for the New Year party, virtual party, because again, technology is everywhere. That's how you're listening to me right now. And we're going to share both involved and quick print and go activities and lessons that help our students remember how to play. Because if they can remember how to play, then we can start teaching them decision-making skills. Some of my favorite activities that involve play are absolutely improv games. Now, I know I might lose some of you in this moment, but improvisational theater, just devised theater, and just making things up as you go is one of the healthiest ways to expand our emotional intelligence. And yes, there's science behind it, but also just like I've been doing this for a long time, and I can tell you it's a really good thing to do with kids. So one of my favorite introductions to improv is just doing like pantomime. Because if you cut out one of the pieces of performance, like if you cut out voice or if you cut out physicality, there's something a little less threatening about it for our Gen Pop students who are not, my theater dorks like me who like to get out there and just do all of the things, which, by the way, is also a mask we hide behind, is our personalities, but that's for another podcast. Doing something that is like you give them a card and they have to like make a shape with their body, or they have to like reenact a scene with other people, or they have to make a machine, or like those sorts of pantomime or even tableau sorts of activities. I will flesh it out a little bit better for our favorite things party. But I am thinking that in the first week of January, before we all go back to school, so like before January 5th, how do I know that that's the first day back? Because I know that I have rehearsal that day. We need to have a Brave New Teaching Team BNT meeting where it is a favorite things party. And I will bring a bunch of different pantomime and like voiceover acting, like character voice activities that get kids to be silly and that you can absolutely adapt to different things that you're doing in your classroom. And you all are going to bring your favorite play-based activities. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so much fun. Okay, friends, listen. We're going to stop this team meeting early because it is just a week and some change before most of us go to winter break. And we need a little extra time to go and get that special coffee this morning. I went to TJ Maxx last night and I got peppermint syrup like for my hot chocolate and for my coffee. And I'm going to go make myself a coffee right now because I think my kids are going to wake up soon because it's early in the morning as I am recording this. And it's time for a fancy coffee. So I hope that you go and get yourself a fancy coffee or hot chocolate or something like that. And you have a wonderful day at school. Have a wonderful week. We've got this. We are going to make it to the end and everything is going to be okay. And we're going to remember how to play. And it's going to be so fun. Okay, friends, have a great day. And I will see you next time. And again, the article I mentioned, and there's a couple things about Finland that I'll put in the show notes. But anyways, have a good one. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks again for listening to Brave New Teaching.
We'd love to keep the conversation going over on Instagram.
And while you're there, check out the links in our bio for the most up-to-date events going on in Happy Hour and the Brave New Teaching community.
Thanks for being here and have a great week at school.